Hello, and welcome to this brand new series where we tackle the toughest questions out there so that you can be informed and educated on these matters. Today's subject is car insurance, and do you need it? But before I explain what car insurance is and whether you need it, you will first need to understand what a car is. This is a car. This is also a car. This is an aeroplane. This is a potato. This is also a car. Now that I've explained what a car is, we can move on to what car insurance is. This is a car insurance. Yes, car insurance is in fact protection in the form of an umbrella that should cover you from anything that wants to hurt your car. If the umbrella were to break and your car does actually get damaged, don't worry, because you should then get a ton of money back as compensation. Okay, so let's just say for example that you've taken out some car insurance and you're in your car, you're on the road, and you're cruising at about 120 miles per hour. Then out of absolutely nowhere, a wild moose decides to jump out in front of your car and tries to ram into your car. You manage to swerve out the way, but still end up hitting a lamppost. This is where all of your problems will disappear, because after you get out of the car, you then phone up your insurer and say, "Excuse me, can I speak to someone?" They'll say, "Yes, you can speak to me." And then you say, "Okay, I've had an accident, but it wasn't my fault. A moose jumped out and hit my car, and instead of me hitting the moose, I swerved out the way and hit a lamppost. So I'd like to sue the lamppost for grievous bodily harm, and I'd also like to claim on my insurance." And then they'll say, "Oh, okay, no problem." And then you put the phone down, just like that. So that is a big payday for you. Yes, your car may be a tiny bit damaged, but with the money that you've earned from the insurer, and also from suing the lamppost, you should be able to buy a private jet. Then you won't even need to worry about any land animals assaulting your car, or even getting car insurance ever again. So it is a win-win. As you can see from this example, car insurance leads to bigger and better things. Now, what would happen if you drove off a cliff? Well, the same rules would apply here. You just get straight on the phone to your insurer and you say, "Hello, could I speak to the insurer please?" And they'll say, "Yes, you can speak to me." And then you say, "I've just driven off a cliff, I need to claim off my insurance." And they'll say, "Why did you drive off a cliff?" And then you say, "Can I have my money first and then I'll tell you?" And then they'll say, "Okay, that's fine." And then you say, "Could I speak to the lawyer please, because I'd like to sue the cliff?" And then they'll say, "No problem, let me just transfer you over to the lawyer." And then you say, "Hello lawyer," and then they say, "Yes, this is lawyer speaking." And then you say, "I'd like to sue the cliff please." And then they'll say, "That is a valid case, you should make millions from this suing." And then you say, yes I will." And then you hang up and let the lawyer deal with the rest of the case. Now obviously, if you do go over a cliff, then it is not actually your fault. You've just got to bear in mind that there shouldn't have been a cliff there to begin with. So if one does appear from out of nowhere, then you just have no choice but to go over it. You know, it's not your fault, it's the cliff's fault. Blame the cliff. So we have established car insurance involving moose and cliffs. However, these can be quite substantial claims, particularly if your car catches on fire and burns to complete cinders as a result. What about another scenario where your car merely just gets scratched a tiny little bit? Should you get car insurance in the unlikely event that this should happen? Well, I would say it is still worth it, personally. Even though it is very rare for your car to get scratched, I would say it's still better to be safe than sorry. Now, I can't actually think of a situation where your car is likely to get scratched. Let me just think about that for a moment. Maybe if like a seagull were to swoop down and with its bill, it would like rub its bill on the bonnet of your car, and then that could lead to a scratch. But then, is the seagull likely to stick around after it's committed this heinous of crimes? Well, if it does stick around, then you can exchange car insurance details with it, and then you can phone up your insurer and make a claim against it. But really is a seagull going to stick around? No, it'll probably just fly away. It's just going to fly, isn't it? It's just going to dart off. You know, there's very few trustworthy seagulls out there. They're not going to stick around. You know, they have the ability to fly. You won't be able to catch it after that. You don't have a helicopter. It's impossible to chase a seagull once it's committed a crime like that. So yeah, it's tricky. It's really tricky. I can't really think of any other situation that's going to lead to a scratch on your car. Very, very difficult one, that. But anyway, car insurance for these smaller claims is there if you need it. Right, so we can now summarise. So, should you get yourself some car insurance? I would say it is worthwhile, if you have a car, that is. But then even if you don't have a car, I would say it is still a great idea to get car insurance, because it pays the insurer, and who doesn't want to help out the insurer? So I hope I've helped you to make a decision as to whether you would like to get car insurance or not. I'll leave the final decision with you. Who, me? No. The viewers. See you later.